there everyone, thanks to my new subscribers and to my old subscribers. Tonight I'm going to do the truth about his feelings. Pick a card. You choose a number 1 or 2 and the timestamps are in the description box below. What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? King of Trees, the 5 of Stars, the 2 of Trees in reverse, the Turnaround upright, the 9 of Stars upright, the Emperor upright. The 7 of Hearts on the bottom of the deck. I get the impression from these cards that your man's quite stable, he's quite wealthy. He's in a very argumentative situation, a very stressful situation. It's very frustrating and confusing. I feel he's lost his footing in this situation, but he's still feeling very stable. I really think he's come to the conclusion that he has to turn around his life. Because whatever he's going through is taking up too much of his time and his patience. And he's really had to persevere through whatever's been happening. I feel there has been a woman in the mix who's quiet, domineering, very impassioned and quite hot-tempered. And it's been very hard for him to cool the situation, so I feel like he meditates a lot and he finds a lot of time alone so that he can separate himself from this other person's hot temper. His feelings towards you and the truth of them is that you're very spiritually inclined, but you are the light in his life. It's just that he can't see you at the present time in the way that you want him to see you because he's got all these complications. It's like he's had to acknowledge his loyalty to you but shut his eyes to the brilliance of the connection because of the interference of this other woman. Because I feel he has a lot of worries over this woman. A lot of worries. Because she's unstable. And quite venomous. I feel she can flip out quite easily and go into like a fit of rage. And even though he succeeds in finding his alone time, And he focuses on his family if he has a family. I feel like he's trying to make compromises because he's attached. But he's trying to make too many compromises. In this situation. I feel the wheel of fate is going to turn. He sees you with a clear vision. That's the impression I get. And sometimes he feels the problem is on your side and not on his side. But it's a little bit of both. It's like he had this plan for you and him, and then to maybe have an affair or go into something a little bit more easygoing. But it was turned on its head. But he still watches you. You know, it's like he has so many complications in his life that he can't focus enough on your connection. And when he has time to focus on your connection, he closes his eyes to it. I feel that when he's in his career space, he feels very strong, very stable, and he can see the prosperity in the connection and he feels happy. When he goes home, there are complications again with a lady if he's attached. If he's not attached, he has a problem with a mother, some woman. But this is the problem, see, neither party is looking at this with a clear vision. It's like he has the ability, or he feels he's mature, emotionally mature enough to face the love he feels about you in a more mature manner than yourself, because he feels like he's above you in this situation. But I feel it's like the other way around. I feel that you're the stable individual in this situation who has some issues, but you're a much more calming influence within yourself than what he is. He has enough comfort in life and enough stability in his career to work through these issues. But I feel this person that's in his life, and it's a female figure, whether it's a mother, whether it's a partner or a wife or a colleague, close colleague, whatever she may be, I feel you know about this person or you have some suspicion of it. He's not coping all that well. And you know he's not coping all that well because he feels he has choices in his love life. He feels he can have affairs in this relationship. His method of resolving this issue is by having affairs with other women, and I feel he had some impression that you might move into like a flexible arrangement with him. But he's a little bit, honestly, he's a little bit confused or deranged about, on an emotional level, about your principles as a person. And I feel that he's trying to apply his problems onto you, like he's not facing himself in the mirror. He's confident in his wealth, he's confident in his career. He's judging you on your problems, but he's not looking at himself and his actions with a clear vision. He's not reflecting on them. He's just working through them. He's just turning with fate. He's turning with fate when he should be taking more assertive action about getting himself out of this situation with this person, whoever it may be, this woman. Because it's all too hard. She's brought bad luck into his life. So I really feel that his devotion is misplaced. He's trying to protect his baby, his new baby, or his family in some respect. And his career, he's trying to protect his career and his stability within his setup. But he's essentially lying to himself and to everybody around him. It's like he makes compromises to suit himself. And he looks upon you as the fresh person in the relationship, but you're not. You're not the green person at all. I don't think you make as much as him, and he has a problem with that. But also, you're misunderstood to him. Not to him, but he misunderstands you. Because you're the much more stable individual. You don't have as much wealth in your life as him. And this woman here has obviously benefited from being with him. And her luck changed in being associated with him. But at some point here, he had to stop the nonsense, and he didn't. You know, like, I feel this is a man that makes out he's the mature person in the situation when it's really the other way around. Maybe it's just his career and his experience in his career, but he really has to be more humble in this situation. Own up to it. That's what he has to do. He has to own up to it. Own up to his own mistakes, because he's made real mistakes in this dynamic, to the point where he's like, knows that this woman that he's attached to has a particular type of personality or a particular type of mannerism which isn't conducive to him, because he's a different person. She's a 9 of stars, very fiery, and he's the king of trees, very earthy. So he was obviously attracted to her energy, and he judged you on your position in life. And he has some impression that you're a troublemaker, but you're not the troublemaker, she is. And he adjudged you, he simply adjudged you on your personal circumstances in life. And chose another woman over you, whether that's a mother, his own mother, whether that's a partner, whether that's a girlfriend. He went down the wrong track, but he's not owning up to it. He's, I don't know, kind of meditating here and insisting that he's loyal to you and insisting that you are the most brilliant light in his life. But he's not taking any responsibility for his actions in bringing somebody or keeping somebody in his life who isn't really well suited to him. So I feel that we're dealing with somebody who's a little bit conceited, very conceited. Because on the one hand, he says that he's devoted to you. You're the only other person that fits his existence. It's spiritually protected. It's blessed by Jesus, or it's blessed by God and Jesus. He has this notion about you too, but he chose someone else. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to be a third-party situation, but it definitely is a situation where he's spending more time with this woman over you. He's getting to know this woman more than what he's getting to know you, and that's an insult in itself. But he doesn't look upon it that way. He just looks upon it, oh, we're in different circumstances. Fate won't bring us together. God won't see that fate brings us together. I've met this woman here. She gives me a lot of strife. However, I'll just close my eyes and trust in the divine. And maybe we'll meet again on the same path in life. So he's a funny thing, because that's not how it works. If you like someone, you pursue them. If you can't get near that person, then obviously you're going to meet someone else. But you release the person that you can't attach to because of whatever circumstances they may be in. So he's really just trying to drag you along on the ride. But that's not to say that it's not a true love to him, because it is. It's very passionate, very loyal. He's very loyal to you. But he's kidding himself in this deck. He's kidding himself severely, to the point where he's in a state of denial. Because there's no reality in him in respect of you. There's some kind of perception, there's some kind of understanding. But the mirror in this situation is saying he's in a bad situation with this woman. She's a bitch. You're not a bitch. Whatever's happening in his life is his own cock-up fault. It's not your fault. Just because you have trip-ups along the way isn't even on the same scale as what his are. But because he's so bloody arrogant about his position in life over you, like this godlike complex or whatever he's got going, he's not making moves. He says to himself, oh, it's all fated, it's in the hands of God, it's up to the higher realms. But that's just a bunch of bull. He just doesn't want to get off his arsehole. Not only does he not want to get off his arsehole, he doesn't even want to go so far as to prevent a disaster by getting not continuing on with a brutal, rude and potentially violent woman. So that should tell you something. So yes, he does have those feelings for you, but he's in dreamland. He needs to get out of dreamland, and he needs to get out of dreamland before that 9 of stars turns into the Tower. Okay, so that was deck 1. If this reading resonated, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below with a link to my website and to my Fiverr account. My website is a PayPal service and my Fiverr account has a few more options for readings if you'd like to take a look. This is deck 2. The truth of his feelings. Pick a card. What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? The Lovers. The Star. Knight of Hearts in reverse. The Ace of Angels. Sun in reverse. The King of Hearts upright. The Path in the bottom of the deck. Exploration. I really get the impression from these cards that this is a true love. You're 2 peas in a pod in this reading. There are a couple of men that are interested in you. I feel one of the men's a cheat, but he's fascinated by you. And he's fascinated by you because you bring a certain type of freshness to his life. I feel for a time he engaged in dark practices. So people refer to the light, but he was, sort of sat on the fence between the dark and the light. But also I feel that he slept around quite a bit. But he's understanding from knowing you and from having a crush on you that there's more to life. There's a hope there's a hope in you where he's very genuine about you and he feels you're his soulmate and he feels like you healed him. It also says there's been a lot of confusion in his life, and I feel with the Ace of Angels here that he's very loyal to you and he loves you a lot and you make him extremely happy. I feel that he could have been in the finance or business field, but he's really starting to feel the purity of the connection. I feel that he doesn't feel like he's good at romance, but he's good at unions. And I feel like he wants to have a sex affair with you initially, and then he has some plans to grow it because he has a lot of hope for you both. I feel like he's feeling a bit down and confused at the moment. He's lost his energy. It gives me the impression that he could be could have like a health issue that makes him very tired and very fatigued. But it's like you lift him up. Whenever he thinks about you, he feels uplifted. He's a very smart guy. But he's really starting to appreciate what a coupledom could bring him, what loyalty could bring him. I feel he watches you because you can see here with the eyes on the angel wings, and hear that he watches you quite closely. He's around you, I feel. And if he's not around you presently, he will be into the future because he's just a man in love. He's a man in love. I feel in the past he could have had a family, that's quite possible, and he could have had a person he thought was his soulmate. But it shows there wasn't a lot of success in that relationship in the end. I feel that he can get angry quite easily. But that the love he has for you and the frustration and the anger he feels is balanced out by his pure and unadulterated love for you. So this is a man who's felt a lot of rage. I feel he's had to renew his faith, actually. He can be a little bit... He doesn't own up to things all the time. I feel like he doesn't own up to love. He doesn't... There's some type of deception in him, and you can see that with the Knight of Hearts in reverse, that he got around quite a bit when he was a younger fella. He has matured, but there's like... and his heart's on fire for you. It's a very pure love. But there's like a deception about him. I feel it's like a habit because of his past. Something about this relationship broke down and it changed him because there was like a divorce or something. But he does want a new relationship with you. Could have been just a separation of a partnership, but it shows something from the past. And it just caused him a lot of depression. It brought out the frustration and anger in him. But you've renewed his hope in love. He feels really loyal to you. So I guess if you can work through those issues that he has and that he exhibits to you, then it could be a very successful relationship because he is healing. So I feel from this deck that if he's showing you his confused and deceptive self, or he's showing you some behaviour which didn't sit well with you, I feel from these cards that you can work through it with him because he's healing. He's healing from whatever set him off in the past. But it is very much a soulmate reading, this one, and a loving and devotional type feeling in the cards. But there's confusion too. He doesn't really know how you feel. He just suspects he knows because he felt something and he heard something, heard about perhaps your feelings. And then he grew his own and he went into like a state of confusion because I feel from these cards that you've been separated. But he's returning. He wants his happiness and his success back. And at the present time, he feels like his happiness and success is you. His hope for the future is you. It's just that presently he doesn't know how to find that success, but he will because he's going to return. Okay, so that was deck 2. If this reading resonated, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below with a link to my website and to my Fiverr account. My website is a PayPal service and my Fiverr account has a few more options for readings. See you next time.